Okay, we're live.
Good, we're live. Oh man, this is supposed to get easier, Kelly, not harder.
We are a hot mess. Hot mess, let me tell you.
We had technical issues.
We did.
Anyway, all good now.
All good.
So anyway, lots of people in here already. Hi, Janie, Klaska, Sandy, Barb, Asa, Sarah. You guys were here before us. Mary's here, Majo.
It's really bad when you're late to your own show, Noelle. So in our defense, there was some software updates today.
Michelle from Sydney. Michelle's here from Sydney, and it's 4:00 in the morning there.
She can make it on time, and we can't.
Yeah, I know.
We're so sorry. So sorry. So there was a software update for the to hook up our cameras, and anyway,
it's never.
And then I came running downstairs, and I had no glasses on, so I can't see a thing. So Mike brought me those, but I've got the driest lips ever, so I need some chapstick. I'm gonna text him.
Too late.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, hi Vonda, hi Sheila, hi Gail.
Actually, I'm gonna scoot out. I'm gonna scoot out, and I'm gonna go grab chapstick. I'll be right back.
I'll talk. Okay, Kelly will be back in a minute. Yeah, so it's always fun when you have technical issues, but I got mine solved about 10 minutes before, so that was good. Oh, hi Karen from Denmark. Hi Tracy. I did my bike this morning. Always feel better after I get off once it's done. So what's everybody working on? I just started some socks, barely started. So hi Holly, hi Jacqueline. So what is everybody working on? Anybody else doing socks? Oh, Majo is doing socks. Oh, Mary's doing the VAR shawl. Oh, a test knit. Way to go, Mary. Nicole's doing socks. Elizabeth is doing a baby hat. Oh, Klaska's doing the Love Note sweater. Barb's doing a shawl. Ace is doing a granny stripe blanket. Wow, we have all sorts of things going on today. Oh, Karen's doing the Magnolia Bloom cardigan. I think that's the one I had on last week, or on the podcast, I think. Oh, Curtis Nelson says he's on here. I don't think that's Curtis. I think it's Rachel. But Rachel's doing socks for the Rising Star, Cal. I know. Have people been looking through finding patterns that don't have very many projects? Like there's some amazing patterns out there. I was going to do one, and it was by This Handmade Life. And I started and I was doing toe up, and I did the toe, and it was going to be this all cabled, but the yarn I'm using is a really soft white with all different colored speckles in it. And it just didn't seem like the right pattern for the type of yarn I was using. So I actually decided to look for a different pattern, and it's actually by the same designer. It's by This Handmade Life, and it is it was either Waiting for Spring or something about spring, and it's a little bit lacy, and it fits much better with the pattern. And it's also there's less than 30 there's less than 30 projects, so that'll work out perfectly. So anyway, Asa says she just bound off the body of a Love Note today. Oh, and someone else is knitting. Who was it that said they were knitting a Love Note? Someone back here said they were doing a Love Note. Asa just cast hers off. I thought someone else was doing one. Anyway, Love Note, amazing pattern. We've done several. Between you and I, Kelly, I think we've done.
I've done 2. I think you've done 3.
I've done 2 adults. And at least 2 kids, possibly more. So anyway, so now I'm just starting these. These socks are just from my the Lucky Dip Cal, and this is the yarn that I picked out for this month. And this is just I just pulled it out because I had nothing else that I could knit that easy. So it's the the diamond footsie. Have you ever worked with that?
Yes. Yes.
That's actually not bad yarn. It's 75% superwash wool, 25% nylon. So it'll make an okay sock. So I have like it cast on. This is basically all that's done on that. So
I'm still playing with settings. Sorry. Oh, that's too big. We don't like that. There we go. That's better. Goodness.
Oh, sorry. Inspired by Fibers. I know who you are, but I can't think of your first name. Can you just let me know your first name? And she's doing the Burra cowl, and that's I believe it's a pattern by Marie Wallen, and it's beautiful. It's like the Shetland all over Fair Isle.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Yeah, I was going to say, she said she may have to work on socks for easier to watch. I can't imagine because I can barely do this. So I certainly couldn't work on a Marie Wallen pattern.
No. Oh my gosh, no.
In fact, I think I've screwed this up and I'm already Anyway, okay, need the heart to settle down. And of course, like all week, I don't hear from my sons all that often. Well, today, 3 of them while I'm getting ready to do this, or calling or texting or.
They do that. Last week, or no, 2 weeks ago, I guess, my son called me. It was like 3 minutes. I was running down the stairs to get down here. And he's like, hey, do you have a minute? I have 3 of them. I'll give you 1.
I know. Anyway, well, it's tax time and taxes have to get done. So.
Oh, Lillian said she liked the bigger setting. Oh, goodness. Lillian, you don't need to see us up that close, do you? I just want to know, is my mic okay today? Because I'm still playing with setups. And yes, to the bigger setting. Gail, please. Maybe they're watching it on something small. Okay.
No.
All right. We can go big. We'll go big. Go big or go home. There. Ah!
Yikes.
Now my shelving is crooked.
And I spilled a little coffee on myself this morning, and now I got to worry about it. I didn't have time to change.
Sarah said the sound is good. All right.
If I was at a real coffee shop and I spilled coffee, I'd have to just leave it, right?
I was upstairs making spaghetti sauce, so maybe I should be doing a check too. I was making a big pot of sauce. So
we have some kind comment, people saying they're beautiful. They must not have their glasses on. Anyway.
Well, when you were texting me that you were having problems 20 minutes to the show, I was in the washroom trying to do something with the hair. So then I came flying down with no hair done, like the hair I slept in. Yeah. This is not an improvement. I'm going to say that. And Mike says, don't you have a show? And I'm like, Noelle's having problems. And I'm down here. And all I can think about is this thing is going to go live and I'm going to have the hair I slept in. So I ran upstairs quick and brushed it and threw it in a braid. I don't know. There's a chunk sticking out back there.
Ross normally sets things for me and he's had to leave. And he just goes, well, you got an hour to figure it out. And I'm like,
Our IT guy. I'm getting more in the middle of the screen. There we go.
Anyway.
I don't know. Whew.
Anyways.
I feel like I've run a mile.
It seems like, though, for that app that we just updated that thing like not that long ago.
I don't know. See, I was working on, this is what I worked on today. These are my, the wireless headphones, and I like those better. But I couldn't get them to work with my new computer. So I came down early today, which is why my hair wasn't done. And I was monkeying around with these and I got them to work. But you have to do kind of a little tricky thing. And I didn't have time to do the little tricky thing. So I'm back to wires and hopefully, someday. Valerie, you are too kind.
I know.
You are too kind.
I know.
Too kind. And then the other thing that I'm doing, because when I go back and I kind of check on them, I know you're too nervous to watch the lives. And now I'm going to be afraid to watch them because I see the hot mess we are. But I go back and I try to watch just to check for technical issues. And I thought, I'm looking down too much, right? So, because I'm trying to do some commenting things and read the things. So I thought, I'm going to set my monitor up behind the camera so that I'm kind of, and then when we do our podcast, that works great because then I can make a bigger screen. But this way, when I went to make the bigger screen, all the comments disappeared. And I'm like, well, that's no good. So now you're going to see me really struggle because I'm trying to read the comments and pay attention again. So I'm going to trust you to read a few more of the comments this time.
I can read the comments. I just might have to put the knitting down.
Yeah, if I have to lean a little bit. Yeah, you're going to see the granny eyes come out for sure. All right. So I missed what everybody was working on.
Well, anybody, thanks everybody for all the kind comments. So I think this is the only day in the week that I put on makeup.
Yeah.
I don't go to work, right? So, I mean, I've been married for 39 years. He doesn't need makeup.
Well, it's funny because last night I was getting ready for bed and I'm very careful to moisturize at night because we're ladies of a certain age now. And I was in the bathroom doing that. And he walks in, he goes, what are you doing? He goes, you didn't even wear makeup today. And I said, I'm not taking anything off. I'm putting something on. He goes, why are you putting something on to go to bed? I said, it's moisturizing cream. I said, it's going to work while I sleep, right? That's the plan. I don't know. We'll see.
Yep. Yes, I make sure I put my moisturizer on. So anyway, you know what? I'm not even going to knit because I don't feel like it.
Yeah. Well, so right now I'm envious of everybody else that's getting to watch us and they can still be in bedhead. So I'm not wearing pajama pants on the bottom though. So that's one thing. I do have something fun to show. I found this today. I screenshotted it. I found this on Instagram. I'll go to my photos. I found something new for everybody to make. I think this could be our next knit along. And I don't want this to sound like I'm making fun of this person in any way, shape, or form. I am not. They're from Norway, and in Norway, you might need things like this. But even in Canada, I think we don't. But anyway, maybe we could do this as our next. Can I make it bigger? Yes, as our next knit along. You see these?
Are those for men or women?
I'm not sure.
I don't know, maybe
I feel like women. I think women because they have a little tie and they're high cut, right? They're high cut. So
anyways,
what do you think, people? Could we knit those?
You go first.
Do we have to model them?
I'll wait and see how yours turned out, Kelly. Anyways.
As long as I don't have to model them. I don't know.
Valerie says that she has a difficult time watching podcasts that the folks make themselves look perfect, act perfect, and sound perfect. Well, you're certainly in the right place.
You're not going to get that here. You are not going to get that here. Just saying.
That's right. Someone before said that perfection is overrated.
Is it? I'm just going for. I want to have good knitting. The rest of me doesn't care.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So
Mary, get off the floor. She's rolling on the floor laughing.
Anyway, I'm missing all these comments. I'm supposed to be keeping a better track of this. So.
Well, she typed in capitals. I could see that from here. So
I want to say hi to Kathy. Kathy is inspired by fibers. I'm going to try and remember that. And I know that because I was just texting with who's phoning. Anyway, Kathy, I'd love to see your burra cowl.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure. And Kloska, that sweater that you just finished, that, what was the name of it? The one that's got the yoke.
The white one, the white with yes.
Because I know I've got that in my favorites because I've liked that sweater for so long, but it's beautiful. Let's see if it puts in it. And they've got a cardigan version of it now too. What?
Karen wants to know if the panties were steeked. I want to repeat. I'm not making fun of what somebody made, but I just thought, I don't know.
Get back to you.
The Whitmore. The Whitmore. I was going to say Winterborn. I knew it was a W. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Anyway, I know. And cardigan version just looked amazing. Of course. Anyway, whatever. I got it.
I didn't know there was a cardigan version.
Yeah, there's a cardigan version. Okay. So.
Well,
Anyway,
I feel like history has just repeated itself. I watched a new podcast this week that somebody suggested, and I really enjoyed them. It is called Fiber Hustle. And I watched, I think it's their latest episode. And for the first 10 minutes, poor Chip, they were having cocktails. And I think it's been a while since Chip's had a cocktail. And they were laughing so hard and they were mispronouncing words. And I thought, well, wouldn't you think they'd stop and start over? And here we are. Look at this. Ridiculousness abounds.
I think I need a cocktail. So,
Glass of wine would probably calm you down.
Maybe. Usually makes me fall asleep.
Well, I'm on stockinette stitch for my sweater.
Are you?
So I have nothing to count, and I have no patterns. So if I manage to screw this up today, we're all in trouble. I'll tell you that.
Another mistake. No, I think I got it. Anyways, I'm just on the rib. The even rib apparently is too hard.
Dawn wants to know if you cast on with a larger needle and then switch to 9-inch. I don't know about you. I cast on the 9-inch.
Yeah, if I'm starting with the toe. Because if I'm starting with the toe, I start on 2 16-inch circulars. If I'm starting top down, yes, then I would cast on with the 9-inch.
Right.
So how long did it take to feel comfortable? I'm still getting there.
Still working on that.
It feels much more comfortable than it did. I would not go to any other option for colorwork socks. I still don't know that I would be comfortable doing a textured sock with it. Like I'm comfortable with just doing a plain in the round sock. It's not my go-to yet, other than specifically for colorwork. It's definitely my go-to. So
I'm comfortable with them. I'm completely comfortable with them.
But would that be your first choice when you're starting a new pair of socks? I'm going to do it on a.
Yep, it would.
Even for a pattern, like a.
I have no problem doing a pattern on them.
I just this pearls just slow me down.
Okay.
Like if the pattern is, so I would still choose my 2 16 inches, probably still my preferred. So you're welcome, Dawn. Let us know how you make out with it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh, Ewa's going to serve virtual mimosas.
Okay. I'll have 3.
I love mimosas.
Skip the orange juice.
Right? Skip the entire brunch. Just go for the mimosa. That is a sort of a Christmas Day tradition that my son started at, I won't say a long time ago because he's only 24. So he didn't start it a long time ago, but I had made a breakfast and I said, oh, we'll have mimosas. And he quite likes them. So now, well, not that we've done this the last year either though, because of COVID, but so we have our Christmas morning breakfast. It's cooking in the oven while we're drinking mimosas. And then the day is just pretty much spent cruising through mimosas. But yeah. He said, I don't know. Is it like a really manly drink? And I go, oh, what's a manly drink? I don't know. But he really likes them.
Then I usually have to have a nap on Christmas afternoon once I get the turkey in the oven.
But they get lighter and lighter on the orange juice as we go, right? Yeah.
Yep. Tracy said she did her first cable pattern on the 9-inch and without a cable needle. Wow. I think I'm a ways from that yet. So Valerie, what sweater? This the one I'm wearing? Is that the one? This is Tilisandia by Laura Ayler. And it's just in a mercerized cotton, actually, that I had bought for weaving and then decided to knit with it. Oh, Barb makes sugar-free eggnogs. I didn't even, you know what? This Christmas, I did not even have an eggnog. And I usually at least have one, but I didn't even have one.
Hi, Louise. Louise joined in. Louise is Wildflower Wool. Sorry, Louise. And she has a podcast of her own. And I think it's Monday nights. Monday nights.
Monday night cast on? Yeah.
Yes. She does a segment that's kind of like a learning segment. And this past week, she I was able to join in while I was doing some sewing, and she was talking about color work and dominance in color work. And she had some samples, and she was really organized. Unlike this one today, she was really organized, and it was a really good, I really enjoyed it. I learned some things, which I like to do. It's great. Are you reading?
I am. Gail's going to try her neck socks on a 9-inch. Let us know how you what you think of it, Gail. And Susan likes her 9-inch for vanilla. That's what I'm saying. And colorwork mittens for sure. But yeah, patterns are purling. I still need work on that. So it looks like lots of people do like that. I think it's kind of, I don't know. I think they take some getting used to.
Knit one full. I swear by what Natalie told me. Knit a whole pair. Knit one whole pair.
Yep.
So. Barb says she can't do lives until she's reached 1,000 subscribers, but she would be super nervous. Trust me, Barb, we're nervous. We're nervous every darn time because it seems like the last 2 times, the sky is falling 2 minutes before we go live.
I know.
And the clock, you can't slow that thing down.
I cannot believe how fast time goes by. I can't believe it. Like I get up and I think, oh yeah, I have all day and I'm going to get this done, get this, get this done. And no, I'm scrambling to put things together for supper at the last minute and I don't work. And there's a pandemic on. I'm not going anywhere.
I know, right?
But I just bought a new flat iron. And it heats up instantly because I really need to do my hair a lot faster in a pandemic when I'm not going anywhere. I thought about that when I bought it and I thought, oh, wow, something's wrong here.
I wanted to share a little story. It's from Sarah this week. I hope this is okay to share, Sarah. Sarah is on here with us today. So just like jump in and cut me off if I can. Sarah's a teacher and she was showing something. I'm pretty sure it must have been on Instagram that I saw that. And she wasn't sure if she had enough yarn. So she turned it into a math project for her students. And I'm like, go, Sarah. I love that idea. So they had to calculate what she needed in the pattern and find out if she had enough yarn to do the project. And I think that is so important to have teaching in the class that is an everyday math. And we used to play this game with our son. He was not a fan of math. I'm a math fan. Noelle and I are both math fans. So he was not a fan. And he pushed back hard in his lessons. He did not want to learn math. So his dad and I started this, our little game where we said, math counts for every single thing that you can think of. And he would be like, no, it can't. So it became his job to find something in life that math did not relate to. And it became our job in some ridiculous way to try to tie it in, because he came up with some really good examples. Like he said, I remember one example. He said, I wouldn't need to know math to take care of the tires on my car. And we're like, oh no, but you would, because you have to know the pressure that the tire is optimal at, and you have to know how to read that. And then you have to know to go to the air machine and calculate how much air you have to put into the tires. But he spent so much time thinking of ways he wouldn't need math in the world. And some of them were very challenging for us to come up with reasons, but he started with the easy ones. And as he got older, some of our examples were harder. And I thought, if you would put half the time of thinking into how much you could use the math instead of why you don't need the math, we'd be so much further ahead. But it was a fun game. We played it for years and years and years. So she gave them her yarn, a scale, a pattern, and then they had to figure it out. And I think that's great. And I'm wondering how many of them are now knitting, Sarah. Did you bring any knitters into the flock that day? So
Louise said she got a porch drop off with an asymmetrical 9-inch. So I saw that, Louise. It's a new needle. I can't remember the brand, but the one needle tip is longer than the other. But I looked on Suzanne's site because I thought I might try one, and they were sold out already. The 2.25s were sold out already.
Addie has them as well.
Oh, do they?
Yes. So it's a 2-inch tip and a 3-inch tip. It's supposed to make the circle easier.
Okay. But I have that set that's got the 2-inch and a 3-inch, so I could probably just make my own.
Yeah,
right?
and you can do that with
needles
chagoos as well.
But I wonder if the needle's going to be a little bit longer.
It is. It's they
So
say it was they call it a 10.5. So I think that would almost be too long on some of the
on a sock.
On the socks.
But Louise said it's a 9-inch. But I think to get the 9-inch on the chagoos, I have to use the 2 small tips on the cord. Anyway, I'll have to try.
I'm catching up on Sarah's comments, and she said she said no knitters this year because of COVID, but they typically have a knitting club at school. That is like so cool. I know that they have that in some countries, but I didn't think we had it in this country. And I can tell you, growing up in Nova Scotia, we did not have a knitting club.
No, we did not.
I might have been president. That's so cool, Sarah. Absolutely.
Oh, Louise is going to go measure it and see if it's a 9-inch.
Ah, that's why it's sold out. Louise got the last one.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Just I'll have to try it with my set and see what happens. See if it's, Oh, Barb says she learned to knit out of school. Oh, in Ontario.
Really?
Even had a boy in it.
See, that Nova Scotia growing up. I don't know if I can.
Ontario, we didn't learn to knit. We didn't even learn to knit in home ec. Don't you remember home ec?
Yes.
We didn't learn to knit. We had to sew something. And we cooked, but we didn't ever knit. Oh, a group of retired ladies. That would be me.
Could go into the school and teach knitting. That's awesome.
Oh, Jennifer says she's thinking of teaching knitting to my students too. You know, it's something that it's still like a calm activity, but you're actually producing something. Like it's much more productive than sitting and playing a video game.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And May Jo learned in New York in a school too.
Wow.
Did I go to the only school that didn't have a knitting club?
Because mine didn't. Wow. So. Like I said, the only thing that we had was home ec, and there was not knitting or crochet. Oh, Bonda says her 10-year-old grandson is taught in California, but knitting has sort of made a comeback. Like, I think there are more younger people that are knitting. There are, oh, Susan says she's dating herself. She made an apron with rickrack. We had to make a tote bag. Anyway, but I do think it is starting to make a comeback, and I think you do see more. I don't know, I plan on teaching my granddaughters to knit. Well, actually, their mothers can both knit, so they can teach them how to knit. But I tried. Did you try with your daughter?
I did teach her like the basics, you know, like that. Yeah.
Like knit. Like, yeah, I taught that to her.
She just said that she can't, like, I don't know. I guess she just doesn't have the interest in it. She doesn't have the interest in it yet, maybe. I think sometimes too, it needs to grow on you. And she said that she can't seem to get the attention right. And then she's worried, you know, well, if she set it down on the couch, the dogs would get into it. Like there's a lot of other factors. So, but she's creative in so many other ways, right? And I think you and I have talked about this, but I think this is a thing too, that if you generally, I think if you can do one craft, you can probably do more. I think like a crafty person isn't like a just a one person craft, right? Like I just feel that you have a lot of gifts, right? If you can craft, you have probably a lot of gifts. You can do a lot of different crafts.
Yes, but I don't think that I am artistic at all, because knitting is very mathematical.
Yes.
Right. And so is weaving. Mm-hmm. And so is spinning. And like, it's not like, I don't feel like I'm artistic. Like, whereas, well, like Jacqueline is a graphic designer. Mm-hmm. So She is knitting now, but I can't visualize the things or draw the things that she could do. And same with like Ross, my husband, like he can paint, and he paints something and there's so many colors that he puts in the sky. And I mean, I look at the sky and I see it's blue.
Right.
Like I never get all that shading or all that. So I'm not mathematical at all. Or sorry, yes, I am mathematical. I'm not artistic at all, but I don't know. So I don't know that I could do crafts like freestyle embroidery is not my thing. That's too visual, maybe.
See, I honestly think, excuse me, that water's not helping. The chapstick didn't help.
I know, I think I spilled more coffee. Okay.
Where was I headed? I had a thought. Oh, I think actually you and I, Noelle, are a lot of alike. Like we're very math driven. You know, I like to puzzle things out with my head that way. Whereas my daughter is the opposite spectrum and probably a lot like Jacqueline. She's creatively artistic. She draws as well, and she creates. And she sent me so many drawings that she's done, and then she bought her iPad so that she can use her pen to design. And I'm just like, I don't have that in my head to get out of my head to get down onto a piece of paper. Like I'm not that kind of crafty. Yeah. I can, you know, when I was younger, I used to like to draw, but like she was all about the art side where I like to create and music, you know, I play piano. So, but again, that to me is also very mathematical. So that's, and cooking, right? I love to cook. Also very mathematical. There's lots of ways you can go awry if you don't do the math correctly in cooking. So it's interesting, you know, how a certain art form will have that math background or the creative side. And I think, like, I still stand by, if you can do one craft, you can probably do many crafts, but it's what will stick with you or what will be more interesting, right?
Well, I know when I was in grade school, specifically in about grade 4, I can remember, like, I absolutely hated art class. Like all the other kids loved art, right? I would cry when it was art class day and tell my mom I didn't want to go to school, and she had to give me a little Lucky Charm to take with me for art class. And it was because I wanted the things to be perfect. And in grade school, it was like, here, we're making this. Well, then you expected that you had to make it look exactly like whatever the teacher showed you. And mine never turned out like that. And I did not like it.
Yep. It's funny. It's just funny how we're built. I tell you, the mind is an amazing thing, is it not? It's just amazing. The way it works, the way, and you know, like we all create in different ways, right? Like, yeah, it just kind of blows me away.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good comments in there that I'm missing.
I know we're missing a lot of them. So if you make a comment and we don't get to it, put it in again. We'll see it when it comes down. Yeah, we have lots of people that are teaching other people, so that's good. And Jacqueline just commented before that it wasn't till probably maybe 4 years ago that she actually really started to knit. And I won't tell you how old she is, but she's old. Okay, she'll actually be, I'm going to tell them, Jacqueline, she'll actually be 39 this year. Like, can you imagine, like 39? I remember when I started.
I wish I was 39 again.
When I started work, I used to work at Imperial Oil. I was a lab technician, actually. And when I started work, I was 21 when I started work there. And a lot of the guys I worked with were 35. And I used to tell them they were over the hill because, like, you know, average lifespan was 70 and they were 35. So they were almost over the hill. And now that I'm the age that I am, I'm thinking, holy cow, like, I'm sorry, like 60 is the new 20. So.
We were joking about that at work. Okay, I'll go back to that because I want to make a comment that Sarah is talking about art in school. And I have to say, Sarah, too, and if there are any other teachers watching, like, I give you a huge amount of credits because I know that you're given a curriculum, right? But just to back up what we've just talked about, the way somebody approaches a craft or a technique. And so that's also very indicative of how a person may learn. So the fact that you could have 25 to 30 children sitting in front of you, and you have to figure out a way to speak to each of those children and get that curriculum to fit. I could not. I absolutely could not, because we all learn differently too. And I think that's amazing.
Well, I cannot imagine if this pandemic had have happened back when all 5 of my kids were home and they were all in different grades. I know I could not have handled homeschooling them.
No.
I could. So, and it's easy to teach kind of the way you learn, but you're right. Everybody doesn't learn the same way. So
exactly.
Anyway, Louise said she measured it and it was 9.5.
Okay.
I don't know if how that would affect your 64 stitch sock. And Jacqueline said, hey.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Say you were 39 yet, Jacqueline. Just said.
Well, that's what we were talking about in school, or at work the other day, because I turned 56 this year and I never thought I'd be 56. My wildest dreams, I never thought I'd be 56, but yet I am. So we were trying to think. I said, it's got to be something I can capitalize on this. Is there any place that offers a senior's discount at 55? And we were wondering if Shoppers does. Is it 55 at Shoppers? I don't know. I feel like I should cash in on this. 56 now. I want a discount.
Now that I'm 62, I actually registered and I get my first vaccine on Wednesday. So there you go. I'm happy about that. That's there's not that many bonuses of being old. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Shoppers, some of the Shoppers I think are 55. So Dawn says she's 56.
So what do we get, Dawn? What do we get for being 56? I feel like I should get something at 56. I don't know. It's got to be a discount.
Buy yourself something.
Jennifer, you're lovely. Jennifer must have her fuzzy glasses on today.
Tracy's 56 too. Wow, 56.
50 in Graven. Oh, she said it was 50 in Gravenhurst. 50.
Well, yeah, but then she moved to Bala. Oh, you mean 50 degrees? Are we talking about degrees or age?
No, the discount at Shoppers, I think.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, maybe they don't live as long up there. I don't know. Shoppers in London, 20% off every Thursday. I'm not sure what the day is here.
I think it's Wednesday, isn't it?
I don't know.
Well, I've never been asked if I can use my seniors discount there yet. So I'm going to have to just approach them, I guess.
Janie says at 56, you get more tired. Anyway.
I should have put a marker in this so I can see if I actually make any covering ground.
Valerie says at age 23, folks thought she was 45.
Now that she's 52, she stops caring. Well, okay, here's a secret. Here's I'm actually only 25 too, because on my 25th birthday, I had my daughter. So I always said I gave her the birthday. So as she ages, I'm just going to hang out at 25. She took my birthday. So it doesn't get me very far, but it's my theory. Vonda says it's Thursday. Thursday in Sarnia. Thursday in Sarnia. Okay.
Bonnie, this sweater is Tilisandia, and it's by Laura Ayler. Yeah, I stopped caring. Really, it's just a number.
It is just a number.
So,
and I don't feel like I'm older. I don't think I look young. That's not what I mean. But I don't when I wasn't 56, when I was younger, and I thought 56 was older. I don't walk around thinking, well, geez, I'm actually a senior. I don't feel like I'm older. I'm sure I'm going slower, right? I'm sure I don't cover the ground that I used to when I was younger, but I don't feel like I'm old. So
anyways,
I'm still reading about the discounts.
There is no alternative. So we'll take the aging.
Yes, we'll take the aging.
I just want to be physically able to still do things.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, Mark said you can take advantage of groceries. If you get them at Shoppers and get them at 20% off. I never think of things like that. I'm surprised that Ross doesn't, because he's the one that's frugal in our relationship. And I'm the one that keeps the economy going. So I figure between the two of us, we work out.
That's good.
So Mary said as soon as she was 21, she's forgotten each year. I know sometimes I actually have to do math and think, and then I go, crap. I've done it. It never works out in my favor.
And Susan is 64 and she doesn't feel like a senior. I know, right? Like when I was younger, all seniors looked senior, I thought, when I was younger. But now that I'm a senior, because I am, I don't think I look like a senior. And I don't think the other people that I hang out with look like seniors either. So when I'm 80, I'm still going to think I look hip and cool, apparently.
I'm still going to be doing my bike rides and body pump when I'm 80. Might have lighter weights. So, oh, Michelle's 61 and her mom's 85 and has more energy than she does.
Oh, goodness.
I probably have more energy than my daughter. Oh, I don't know if she's still on here.
You're going to get a tongue lashing, Noelle.
I am. Well, I'm not running around after a 3-year-old either.
She's going to say, Mom, that was on YouTube. You can spill your secrets if you want, but you don't need to be spilling mine.
Jacqueline, don't tell any of my secrets. So that's right. The option of getting older is actually a blessing. Sarah says she's 46. She's really cool. I totally get it, Sarah, because like I taught at the college and I thought it was totally cool, and I'm pretty sure the kids did not. It's like,
I don't know. I bet they did.
What's body pump? Body pump is aerobic weight training. So it's you exercise every different muscle group, but it's done with high repetitions and lower weights, so that you're just helping strengthen the muscles instead of really building them. And I just find, like, I've always been active cardiovascularly, like with running, and now I bike, but I really didn't like doing weight stuff. So this combination of kind of where it's still anaerobic, like it's not really aerobic, but it's more, what would you say, faster paced than just doing weights. So I find that I do it probably 2 or 3 times a week. And I found that it actually has strengthened my body enough to keep up with all of the other cardio things that I want to do. So that's what body pump is. Oh, Glenda's from Edinburgh. Someday we're going there, Kelly.
We are. And she's 67. There we go.
And that's right. You do get to collect CPP. I'm collecting CPP now. Anyway.
I think age is just a state of mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you're out of high school, age does not matter. Because, like when you're in high school, it's different. Because when you're in high school, you have to have friends within your group. If you have an older friend that's out of high school, that never flies. That doesn't fly with parents. That doesn't fly with anybody. But once you're out of high school, like, in high school, you couldn't have dated the guy that was 5 years older. That would have been wrong. But once you're out of school, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I have friends of all ages, and I never even think about age. I never think about it.
Look at somebody and I really honestly can't tell what age they are.
No.
Like I don't really think about it.
I'm terrible at the age guessing game. I like to never be asked that question. I never want to get involved in that. I'm horrible. But I usually underestimate ages. So I guess.
Yeah. Michelle said she'd have a lot more energy if she was asleep at 4 o'clock instead of watching podcasts. You're probably
Michelle,
right.
You're my hero. If I got up at 4 o'clock, the only thing I could do would be go to the bathroom, because I'm headed right back to bed.
You would stay up till 4 o'clock to watch the podcast. I would get up at 4 o'clock.
That's right. I would stay up until 4 for sure.
That's one way that we're not alike.
No, we are polar opposites there.
We are, but we seem to mesh okay though when we go away.
When we travel,
yeah.
Wine helps you stay up later.
Stay up late. Anyway.
There's a secret for you, Jacqueline.
Mark said that Good Life are at home. Mark, it is a Good Life program, but we have Les Mills on Demand, which we have it set up in our basement, and I can bring all the programs that Les Mills has right up on our big screen TV and do it with those. Oh, Glenda says her partner is 15 years younger.
That's right. That's what I mean. If you're not in high school, it doesn't matter.
So
I have to say this about one of the times that Noelle and I traveled, and I kept her up really late. This is funny.
I know.
So Noelle gets up really early in the morning. I do not. So when we travel, like sometimes she'll get up. I think one time I woke up and she had her knitting light around her neck and she was sitting in the corner knitting. But this one day I actually woke up ahead of her and I checked my phone. It was like, oh, 8:00. Like that would be a normal wake up time for me. 8:00. And I look over and there's Noelle in the exact same position in her bed that she went to the night before. So I watched her for a minute and I didn't see any movement. And then I thought, oh my God, should I go poke her? Is she dead over there? I don't know. Like, what would I do? What would I do? But anyway, no, finally she took a breath. And then when she woke up, she was shocked. She was shocked.
Just wore me out, Kelly.
It was hilarious. Sandy wants to know what sweater I'm working on. I'm working on the Celtic knot. Yeah, we should talk about knitting a little bit, right?
I forgot.
Working on the Celtic knot sweater.
Oh, that looks good, Kelly.
Yeah. So I'm just on the stockinette now, so it's easy mindless and it goes pretty quick. So this is a thick yarn. May Joe is up at 4. Wow.
It's fine at 58. Well, I'm up at 5. Actually, this morning I actually slept until 6:30. So I was like, and I get up at that time and I think it feels like half my day is gone.
You know, a perfect wake up time for me is between 8 and 8:30. I'm not going to lie. That's just my time. You can't change your time either. Like people think you can because of your work schedule, but I don't think you can. Like I think your body still wants what your body wants. So my husband gets up earlier than me, but then he's asleep hours ahead of me at night.
Well, like I am most productive in the morning. So I might as well get up and do. I mean, I could lay in bed, but I'd just be laying there and I'd still be awake. So why not get up and do something?
You probably wake up with knitting on the brain, don't you?
Oh, I had a nightmare last night. I dreamt that
Somebody steal your needles.
There were moths in my house.
There was what? Moths?
And they were huge. Like they're like this big. I know like a real where I can't do it there. I know that a real like wool moth is not that big, but these ones were that big.
They were coming for the yarn stash, Noelle.
Like, oh, I was panicking. My heart was just like going like this when I woke up. Oh, what yarn are you using, Kelly?
Oh, this is Drops Alaska. And so reasonably priced. I bought it from the Wool Warehouse online, and they have a flat rate shipping to Canada, which is pretty reasonable. I think it works out to about $7. And I honestly think the whole sweater is costing me about $38.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. Now, I did read some reviews online that people find this yarn is pilly beyond belief. But I mean, I've been working on it and it gets treated pretty rough, handled and everything. And I don't have a pill on it yet. So maybe they're just waiting. I don't know. But it's really pretty. And it's 100% wool, but it doesn't feel like rough wool. I think it won't bother me to wear. Michelle's cat wants breakfast. I know, right? That's what my husband is for. When he gets up early, he feeds the girls because I don't know why. They've had food before they go to bed, and I'm sure they have nibbles left throughout the night, but they seem to think the sun is out, they must eat. It's ridiculous.
Oh, Susan says she's working on her first adult sweater. She's done lots of baby sweaters. She's ready to split for the sleeves, and a word of encouragement would be happily appreciated. You can do it. If you can do a baby sweater, you can do an adult sweater.
There's no difference. It's just more stitches.
So
I hope you'll share a picture. Are you on Instagram, Susan? Oh, it's a huge investment. Some of them are.
Yeah.
Some of them are.
Is it top down? Susan, is your sweater top down? Because if it's top down, you can try it on as you go along, and that makes it a lot easier to get the fit right.
No, she's not on Instagram. Okay. Are you on Ravelry? I'd really like to see what you're working on. It's a top-down cardigan.
Okay, well, then as you go, Like, and I actually, usually once I've split, like it's kind of hard to try it on and get an idea until you kind of have that sleeve armhole. Yeah. So once I do that split and I cast on the stitches and have the body kind of joined up, I kind of just knit a couple of rows and then I'll put it on a cord and try it on. Because that way, if it isn't long enough here, it's only a couple of rows to go back up in order to adjust it, rather than get the whole thing done and then find out it's too tight through the armholes. So. Oh, Kathy said she was sleeping through her second vaccine. So she missed some of the live. I hope you're feeling okay, Kathy.
One of my coworkers got his first vaccine this week, and his arm was sore at work the next day, but he's left-handed like me. So he got it in his dominant arm. I thought he looked really tired. He's not, he's a young guy and he's got energy. Oh my goodness, the energy. He was yawning all day at work. And so I don't know if it was from the vaccine, but maybe he should have just had a recovery day.
Yeah.
He never takes sick days though.
Well, it's my mom got her first and she's 86 and she never had any reaction at all. What vaccine did he get, Kelly? Do you know?
Yeah, it was the Pfizer.
Okay.
Yeah. Michelle wants to knit the car bath.
But she says it doesn't get cold enough there to wear it.
I had that one in my queue. And then the neck, it's a pretty significant neck. So I wasn't sure if I would really get the wear out of it. So I have yarn for it already. And then I just decided that I might use that for something else. What was it that came up? Was it the Magnolia Chunky? I think that I could use to make with the Eco.
With the Magnolia Chunky pullover?
Oh, wait. Was it the waves? Was it the waves of change?
Yes. That
okay.
was it. Yep. The one thing you can do if a sweater's, if it's a chunkier sweater, but you want to do it and you don't want it to be as heavy, you can hold a lighter weight yarn with a strand of mohair, and the mohair will kind of fluff up and fill in some of the space. And then you end up with the same sweater, but it just feels lighter and the drape in it is nicer. So that's an option if you still want to do a particular sweater just to get kind of a lighter version. Oh, we have lots of people say that they
were tired.
Were tired after it, yeah.
Susan's sweater is by Petite Knits too. Are you doing the Sunday cardigan, Susan?
I thought she said the Novice Chunky.
Oh, is that the name of the sweater?
I think there is one.
Okay.
Oh, Marianne got her second shot. And really stiff, but otherwise no side effects. I call it once in a while if I find mohair itchy. I don't find mohair itchy at all. Like I find actually when you put mohair into something, it kind of, like if you're using a more rustic yarn, it kind of softens it. But everybody's sensitive or feels differently to different yarns. If you feel really sensitive to the mohair, another option is trying the Surrey alpaca. There's a Surrey alpaca silk blend that a lot of dyers do. And it's actually, I think a lot of people that are allergic to wool can wear alpaca. So it all just depends on your degree of sensitivity.
Sarah says I could do either, the Magnolia or the Wave of Change jacket. I think the Wave of Change jacket I liked because it had that lower collar.
Yeah, I liked the Magnolia one, but it
yeah, you made that one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But I do like the Wave of Change too. Like it's more, I think you'd almost probably get more wear out of it because it's not as dressy. It's more just like a plain go with anything type of cardigan. So what's my favorite thing about mohair? The feel.
The look too.
And the look, it's just squishy and soft and pretty. And
Yeah.
And it just makes everything look.
Well, the other thing that I really like about it too is so when you pair a really busy yarn with a solid mohair, it completely turns it into the softest watercolor. And I think I really like that too, because we talked on the podcast, I guess, about having that one skein of yarn that you bought, that you loved, that was really pretty, but then you're just, it's too pretty to make into a pair of socks, but it's just really vibrant or variegated. And what do you do with it? So in the past, I've taken some of those skeins that are really busy, and if you pair them with a solid mohair, absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And it's the same too. You can actually take a patterned mohair, because a lot of the mohairs come in like variegated or just like a tonal shade. And if you put that on the plain yarn, then you just get this really soft effect of seeing just a little bit of color throughout the.
It's very very painterly.
Yep. Yep.
I'm just going to pull up.
Well, I'll go grab my sweater because it's right here. The one I'm working on, because it's got the two.
So here's a picture of a pairing that I put together. Oops, get there. So you can see how busy that yarn is. And then I paired that with mauve mohair. And I'll show you the finished result. Ended up with this. So it really tones down the busyness of a yarn. So sometimes we like the colors that are in there, and it's just difficult to have the vision for what it would be best suited for.
Yeah. So here's the yarn that I'm using like that without the mohair. That's the mohair that I'm using with it. And then the sweater. So you can see like there's a big difference between like what the yarn looks like and so it just kind of softens everything.
Yep.
Oh, now I don't know where I put my knitting. Yeah, so Kathy said that she had heard that the mohair does keep the yarn from pilling. Like mohair's got its own kind of like that, like halo, right?
Yes.
You get an overall halo on the sweater. So I think that is probably a layer of protection from places like under your arms and that tend to rub, because the mohair's rubbing against each other as opposed to getting down to the fiber of the sweater, which may be a merino or.
Right.
So, because I've found any sweaters that I've done with the mohair in them actually stand up really well.
Well, and plus it sometimes just was soft. Okay. It's going to go back to that picture. So I actually ran out. This was a one skein shawl, but I think that the skein was a little light. So I ran out and I thought, how am I going to finish this pattern? So the purple that's at the bottom was actually a navy yarn. And I held that with the mauve mohair, and you can see how it completely changes the color. It's just really pretty.
And it helps to blend.
By the way, that's one of those Rye Flower Knits one skein wonders. That's the Rod Silder, and it's one of my favorite shawls. It's so pretty. So Mary had wanted to know, is if you have to frog something, is it a nightmare with mohair? It's not fun. I had to do it. Why did I have to do it? I did it. Oh, on one of my love notes, I wanted to make the back just slightly longer after I had the sweater finished. So I took out some rows on the bottom and added a few more short rows in the back. And it wasn't the easiest thing that I had ever done, but it wasn't awful. You just have to be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had heard some people say that if you put it in the freezer, it helps. I haven't tried that, but
I was
But
afraid to wind my very first mohair. I was terrified to wind it. I thought it looks like it's going to snap. It's so strong.
like
You
Mark
can't
said,
break it.
the silk in it gives it that strength.
Yeah.
Klaska, the sweater I'm doing is the Aldous by Isabel Kramer. Anna says she uses the mohair for added warmth, and it's right. It gives it added warmth without extra bulk.
Tracy has been making some pairs where she's been adding mohair, and every time one of them come into my feed, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I was worried, would they be really slippery? I have wood stairs. Would they be really slippery? I don't know. I like them. They look really pretty.
But I always wear slippers on top of my socks. So
I don't.
Mary says, why do you put it in the freezer? I don't know, because someone said to. The internet said to. I don't know. That was just a tip or trick that's actually been going around for a long time, and it's supposedly, I don't know why it would make it easier.
Maybe it
fibers don't move as much, or
that's what I'm wondering, if they become like they don't adhere to one another. Kind of.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look that up now because I want to know.
Math minds want to know. Science minds want to know.
Valerie says her husband loves the feel of his sweaters, or her sweaters that have mohair.
Does he pet you? Just, yeah. Oh, so soft, so soft. Oh, Anna has actually repurposed 2 mohair sweaters and put in the freezer before unwinding.
Okay.
Does anybody on here thrift sweaters to take apart to reknit? That's a thread that I followed a bit on Instagram, where people were finding cashmere sweaters at thrift shops and taking them home and undoing the yarn. I've never done that. I tried with one that somebody had given me for the purpose of taking apart, and it had multi-strands in it. So it had been machine knit. So some of the multi-strands picked up at different times. So there was no way to really undo it without breaking the yarn. But I just wonder if anybody else has done that.
Okay, so Mary says just put the mohair only in the freezer. Well, if it was a sweater that had mohair, it was held with another one, I'd still probably try that. I haven't really heard whether there was any reason to put any other type of fiber in the freezer. At least I don't recall that being said anywhere. Anna said that hers were thrifted, the ones that she undid. I never even think of doing that.
I don't either, but I mean, imagine you could get cashmere.
Well, yeah, yep.
At thrift store prices.
Have you ever knit with 100% cashmere?
No.
I think I have a ball. I don't know why. I think I might have done like a mosaics type scarf back ages and ages ago that had a black silk, and then it had a multicolored cashmere, but I gave it to my mom. But
so Mary said she tried, but she should have picked a solid color. That's probably what I would think too, so that you would pick a solid color and go from there. Somebody couldn't find a pure wool sweater where the threads had not been cut. Okay.
Well, yeah, and yet, like I was actually thinking that the other day, because one of the sweaters that I'm doing right now is a cardigan, and it's Farrell at the top, but I didn't do it. I didn't steek it. I just did it like knitting back and forth. And because I was thinking that when I was doing it, and I thought, if you do a cardigan and you steek it, you can't rip that cardigan back out, right? It's done. Yeah. You can't. So, because you're not going to be able to save that yarn, because it's going to be cut after every
row.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. So I just came around a corner here, and I've got this little stitch marker on that I want to show you. This one we got in Columbus. See that?
There we go. Oh, yeah.
The little woolly sheep. These are by Ann Tudor. There's glass stitch markers that she makes. Beyond cute. And, oh, now I've got it wrapped around my mic. She has started doing some surface design as well. And she's coming out with a fabric collection as well, which is going to be really nice to see. She's so talented. I don't know how she can do that. She puts tutorials on her, or not tutorials, but little glimpses into her studio of what she's working on with these glass rods that she creates. I just watch. I'm in awe. It's amazing. But her stitch markers are gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Somebody's watching from Bermuda.
Wow.
Wow. How cool does it get there?
Well, I would think probably cool enough for a night shift shawl. Isn't everywhere cool enough for a night shift shawl?
That night shift shawl travels everywhere with me.
I know. I was going to get my yarn out today, but then and start it to do during this. But with all the technical problems, I'm like, I can't handle 2 balls of wool beside me, as well as a computer and an iPad and an iPhone. And
I had a shop update yesterday too. It went really well. There's not much left. So if anybody on here was one of the purchasers, thank you, thank you, thank you for shopping. And it was such pretty fabric.
I know.
I didn't even keep one back. I should have.
I got one.
I know. Well, there are a couple. Well, there were before this podcast. I heard a cha-ching, but oh, hang on.
They were pink. How could anybody?
There were just 2 of these left in the shop, and I was thinking maybe I should keep one of these. These are new. This is kind of a different design, so they're a little bit thinner and taller, and I call them scrappy sock sacks.
Those are pretty.
Really pretty though, and this fabric had the metallic in it too. But I just thought they'd be really good for a sock project, right? You can easily get 2 skeins in there and your socks. So I don't know. We'll see. If they last the weekend, I might keep one. They're so pretty. But yeah, so everything
said that her mother used to use the thrift sweaters for socks. That's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
But she did say a lot of the sweaters were cardigans that were steeped. So you have to kind of know what you're looking for when you go in there to get one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Klaska says she got a couple of your bags.
Yes, she did. That's right. I did know Klaska was in here. Yes, she did. She got, it might have been, I haven't packed them up yet, so they're all sitting here beside me, but I think she might have got this one. And I know she got one of these, I think she got one of these, and that was really pretty. But then she got one of the padded ones that I started making too. These are a new style, and they have a zipper, which I always said, I will never put zippers near my yarn, but this I will, because they create it's padded fleece that I put in these ones. So they actually sit round just like a yarn bowl, and you can flip this down if you like too, so that the zippers are clear and away. So, but they stand up on their own and they're big and round. So I think she might've gotten that one. I know she got one of the quilted ones.
So Kelly's shop is the Tangled Stitch shop on Etsy.
Yes.
And there is, if I remember after this video, after it's done rendering, I'll put that info with a link to the shop right underneath the video.
I was in such a mad rush to get this one up. I don't even think it has a description.
Bag?
I think I can go in after. No. Sorry. Our live podcast, because of doing the update and everything. And all I could think about is, I'm not going to get it done. I'm not going to get it done. And people will be on there without us. And I'm thinking, if we can't make it, how do we send a message to everybody without going live if I can't get the camera hooked up? But it all worked out. Thank goodness.
This is kind of knitting up kind of cool.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, I honestly, I had no idea what it was going to knit up like. It's kind of looks neat. So
the ones that I made in that yarn, they're different. They're, I just pulled them out of the laundry yesterday. So, but I'll show you them on my project page. They came up really cool. And I bought that yarn in Nova Scotia. You know, when you go looking for something, there they are. Come on, picture. each one ended up looking a little bit different, but they striped up really cool. So mine kind of had a, see that?
Yeah, that looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're really comfortable. They're a little bit more rustic. It's not a
Yeah.
soft yarn.
Kind of like the opal or the Regia.
Yeah.
That type.
Yep.
And actually, I love those socks to wear them. Like they're sturdy, they stand up. I don't find that they're uncomfortable at all.
Oh, Klaska watched my tutorial on how to start a new yarn and she found it very helpful. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's a nice, and I'm even using it. I even used it in here too. That way there's no ends to weave, but I wove it in 2 different directions when I joined in here, and then I'll just cut those off. Now I won't, on a sweater, I wouldn't cut until I'm finished blocking.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times if I've done it somehow where you've still just got little pieces, I a lot of times block first. And then when you go in to cut it, it's usually felted a little bit. So it's not, I don't know. I'd rather wait till you know that you've got enough give in there and then cut them off after.
Yeah. Yeah, I just like to make sure once it's blocked, that's it. We're good to go.
So how did you join that? Did you did you like splice the yarn and?
No. I did the same method that I showed in my tutorial. So I introduced it by weaving in to where I wanted to join it. And then at the stitch where they're going to cross, I actually knit 2 yarns together for 1 stitch. Okay. And then the one that I was finishing, I did my weaving on the way out. So I wove in, wove out, and then I'll be able to cut them off. They're done. Like I might take a needle and just slip back. Sometimes I do, but on these ones, like this is a pretty toothy yarn. I don't think it's going anywhere. So I'll probably just snip it off.
When I join a plied yarn, I take the plies together and put some of the old, like the finishing one, some of the plies from it with some of the plies from the same one. So I have the same number of plies. Yes. And then 5 or 6 stitches like that before I'm completely using the new.
I've done that. I've done the spit slice.
I just leave like the very little ends of the plies. I just leave until I'm done blocking and then cut them off.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's, yeah. And the spit splice works pretty good too. I'm always hesitant to do that one in public. You know, there's just something about sticking wool in your mouth and then, yeah.
Especially in good times.
Sandy wants to know where the tutorial is. So it's on YouTube on the Tangled Stitch channel. And all I post over there are just the tutorials. So we come here for the fun and the show. The tutorial is all hard work on my channel. You're expected to work.
Okay, so Ashley says when the live is finished, she's going to forward it to closed caption later. I guess I don't know. Can you do put the closed caption in on the live? I don't know.
I
know you can't.
An option. I don't know of an option, but I will certainly look into it.
Okay. Like I know that you can after, like when you go back and watch it, you can switch that on YouTube, but I don't know if we can do it on a live.
I'm not sure, but I will look into it.
Oh, Sheila says that it's great listening to Knit Talk and inspirational, and she feels like winding up new yarn. I always feel like winding up new yarn and starting new projects, but I got to finish them.
Well, I do all of my podcast watching while I'm down here sewing. So the whole time I'm sewing, there's always a notebook nearby with a pencil because I want to mark things down, new people to follow, new designs to look up. And then as soon as that podcast ends, then across from my sewing table is my yarn wall. And then I'll find myself kind of sitting there looking like, what could I do? What could I do? And I don't need to be looking for more. That's for sure.
Oh, thanks, Valerie, for passing that message on to Ashley. Colette wants to know if there's anyone that's subscribed to Row One. I have not. I actually have never subscribed to anything that I don't see the yarn first.
Mm-hmm. Like the surprise clubs, you mean? And yeah.
So, and Valerie says she doesn't like mystery anything either. That's just me. Like lots of people like getting a surprise in the mail, but I would rather know what I've ordered and what I'm getting. I don't do any mystery knit-alongs either. Like, I want to know what I'm knitting.
For subscriptions, for a period of time, several years ago, I did subscribe to Knit Crate. And then they would send boxes with yarn in there and some other little trinkets. Most of the yarn that I got, I really liked. Some of it, not in my wheelhouse, for sure. But I think I've maybe used almost all of it. I found a use for it. So, and some I quite liked.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle says captions are unavailable on live.
Oh, okay. Thanks,
Sorry,
Michelle.
sorry, Ashley.
Sorry, Ashley. Okay, so row 1 is about sample yarns more than projects. I know. I think it's the one where you get like, they pick one dyer or something every month, and then you get like 10 gram skeins or 25 skeins of that dyer's colorway. So I guess that's if that's what you want to do. I very rarely knit with minis. So I don't know. I want to see the whole skein before I buy it.
I was laughing at Susan. She said that she used to do a lot of knitting on the train. So when she was doing a splice, gosh, can't say that today. When she was doing a spit splice, she would try to do it unobtrusively so nobody would see. So, you're kind of like,
yeah, dip it in your wine.
Actually, to get a really good spit splice, I found I would have to take the two ends. You have to like actually put the two ends in your mouth to get a good spit on there. I don't want it in my hand, right? And then you can take it out and do that. But nobody needs to see you eating your yarn in a public place. Tammy did the row 1 so that she could use it on a cozy memory blanket. And that would be a really great use if you're getting 10 gram skeins, because I know when I do the squares, they each take about 6 grams, I think, per square. So then you'd have some like little bits to do like half squares too. I think that'd be a great use, Tammy. And it'd be like a surprise every month.
Yep. I mean, I love getting yarn or fiber or anything in the mail. Like, I do love that. But if I'm ordering it, I shouldn't say I have a purpose in mind, because a lot of times I don't. I'm just buying it because it's pretty. But I don't know. I just like to see it. You know, and I mean, we're all different, right? Like what makes us happy or what we want to knit with, we're all different. So
yes. That's
right. If you do like the surprise every month, I guess, and realistically, with just a little bit of each color, like that is a good way to see if you like the specific yarns or like that designer's yarns or the way that particular dyer dyes yarn.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I know actually this past month to 6 weeks, I know Little Red Mitten was actually putting together some tasting packs.
Yes, they were fun.
They put different. They were basically sort of all in the same color family, like yarns that would go together, but there were different bases. So you would get so much of each one, and it was curated so that you actually could make something out of it. But you also could try these different bases to see, like maybe you liked this one well enough to do a whole sweater in, or, it's a good way to try out a new base if you haven't knit with it before.
Mm-hmm. And I'm usually up for this idea too. It's like where somebody has a scrappy project and they need more small scraps. So if you can sort of collect a gathering of people that have that, then you could do a little scrappy exchange. You could send, 10 bits in the mail to somebody else. And then, so you can kind of share the little bits. And Natalie and I did that last year for a friend who likes to knit scrappy socks. And so we got together and we each put in 12 of our little scraps from projects that we've done. And we created like an Advent package for her, and with some little treats and everything. And she really enjoyed that. And we had so much fun putting it together. So something like that you can do amongst some friends is fun too.
Yeah. Tammy says her husband watched her spit splice and thought she was losing it.
Oh, the things we do for yarn.
Right. So I actually haven't spit spliced in a long time. I actually go and get water and put water on it, but spit's actually supposed to work better.
Well, I think so. Yeah.
So anyway.
So we're at an hour and 20. So we should probably think about starting to wrap up.
Yeah.
So again, if you're new here, thank you for joining us. And if you're returning,
thanks for putting up with us.
Thanks for putting up with us. Yeah. So, and at the end of I can't talk this week. At the end of this month, this is April. So at the end of this month, we're actually going to switch to Tuesday nights at 7:00 so that we can continue through the summer.
Yep.
And we will still be doing our regular podcasting schedule of every 3 weeks. And we've had a lot of great comments from the last episode. You guys were so encouraging and supportive. And I just want to say this helped me. This was a tough week. You had a tough week last week. This was my tough week. It was just a really discouraging week, and heading into yet another lockdown, it has been weighing heavy on my heart, on my soul, on my spirit, and getting together with everybody. I kept looking forward to it all week long, thinking, oh, I can't wait for Sunday for KnitChat and just to see everybody again, because we missed you last week. And since we were podcasting that day, and I just feel lifted. I feel like I've had the best visit with everybody, and apologies again for the showing up late 2 times in a row. But you know what? Sometimes we do that, right? Sometimes we're just late to show up for our friends, but we still show up. And it was so great to see everybody in here chatting without us. And
and we love.
I hope some of you, and I hope some people are making friends amongst themselves too. Like, I'm starting to see the same names in here every week, and seeing more chatter between people, and that just makes me feel good too. Mm-hmm. It really does. So, in the meantime, you can find us on Instagram. We're on Ravelry. We didn't even talk about our knit-alongs, but we've got some knit-alongs going in our Ravelry thread. And
don't forget about posting what you're working on during KnitChat. Post it into Instagram with the hashtag KNP 2021 KnitChat. So we love going in there and see what everybody's making. Some gorgeous projects. So, and we love seeing all your projects on, in Ravelry, on Instagram. So tag us so that we make sure that we get to see them.
Yeah.
Because I honestly, I like seeing what everybody's knitting. Like, I know my queue has grown exponentially. Now I need to do forever. So to knit everything up. But yeah, it's so much fun talking to everybody. And
it is. And I honestly feel like that we're getting to know new people too. And I cannot wait, because I know some of you are close, and I cannot wait until we are able to get together. Maybe we can meet up, not yet, but maybe later into the summer as things start to open up. Maybe we'll get to do an outside meetup. Maybe we can meet up at the bridge, the Blue Water Bridge. I know some of you are close, and that would be amazing too, to actually put your face to my memory instead of just our faces to yours. And wash hands. Yes.
And don't forget to wash your hands.
Yeah. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next Sunday at 2:00 on time.
Yes, on time. We'll maybe get it ready the day before.
Yeah. Maybe we won't wait and do the test. I like to do the test the day of, though, because then once I have everything set up in place, it just sits here. So, but yeah.
Well, hopefully we won't have to update the software again next week.
I hope so.
So,
okay.
Everybody have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.